Hi, my name is Vena. I'm originally from Rare, but I live in Nandi. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Bula, I'm John from Kornabuan, Tafua. I love listening to Today FM. It rocks.
Bula, I'm Teopola.
Bula, I'm Atlisi.
We love listening to Today FM because it rocks in bar.
Bula, my name is Tisa. I've been listening to Today FM.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
Tonight, teenager dies in police cell. Missing child survives possible kidnapping. An alleged murderer appears in court.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
A mother could not describe her feelings when she finally found her son safe at the Totonga police station this afternoon after the boy had been missing for more than 5 hours. Sarah Ndaiso says her son said a man took him from school. He was later found abandoned on a Cunningham bus by the driver. School manager Father Claude Fong says they're still in the dark and are trying to find out how the boy was taken without their knowledge.
Caleb Solimelangi was overjoyed to be reunited with his mother after he was apparently abducted by a stranger from Holy Trinity Kindergarten School in Suva. The mother said she could not believe where her son ended up.
All they said was that he's been picked up. And then we asked by whom, and then they were not sure. So that was, the surprising thing about it all. Disappointing. Apparently he was found all the way in Cunningham, and a bus driver brought him back to the Market Police Post. Then what I found out was the driver found him crying inside the bus. He was at the back seat and he was crying.
Daiso says so many terrible things went through her mind.
He said, I told him that I wanted to come back to my mommy because my mommy lives in Nailuva. And then the friend said, okay, then you have to go back home. I can't explain the feeling I went through, but I can tell you that so many things went through my mind. The things that we hear on the news nowadays, yeah.
Caleb's mother said he has been missing since midday and was brought in by a bus driver to a Suva police station by 5:20 this afternoon. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
A man who allegedly killed an elderly woman in her Lautoka home appeared in court this morning. Sudesh Mani is alleged to have broken into Vidyawati's house in broad daylight and murdered the victim on January 2013. Shireen Shivan reports.
The family of late Vidyawati travelled all the way to Suva saying they want to see justice served. Wati was allegedly robbed and murdered at a home in Drasa Lautoka 4 years ago by this man, Sudesh Mani, who appeared in the Suva High Court today. Amrit Lal was the first prosecution witness. He told the court that on the day of the alleged murder, he drove Mani and one other person to Drasa where Mani was living with a neighbor of the deceased. Second witness Savitri Prasad, also Wati's neighbor, testified she allegedly saw the accused walking towards Wati's house at around 5:30 p.m. the same day. Prasad told the court she saw Mani leaving the house a half an hour later, and within minutes there were loud screams and crying from Wati's house. She rushed to the scene only to find Wati lying motionless, covered with blood. It is alleged Mani stole jewelry worth $2,200 from the 74-year-old deceased before killing her. Prosecution will be calling other family members, relatives and neighbors as witnesses next week. Sharin Shivan, FBC News.
Civil society groups are now being consulted on the pilot phase of the 1-hour procedure, which is currently in its trial phase. Judicial experts say civil society is an important partner in ensuring the procedure works, but more so in changing a culture of violence that exists in Fijian society. Maggie Boyle with the story.
The 1-hour procedure today being explained to civil society groups in order to get their feedback. Chief Justice Anthony Gates imploring CSOs to heed the bigger picture.
We've heard those comments made, well, we'll get it out of him, or this is the only medicine they understand. Well, neither of those are right.
Facilitator, the Fiji Human Rights and Anti-Discrimination Commission Director Ashwin Raj says the program is aimed at the most vulnerable.
In your capacity as the interlocutors between the community and the state, you bring an important voice to bear.
Funding the program, the European Union and the UNDP both explaining their support.
There's been a real recognition
on the part of the police, on the part of all involved, that brutality is something that really does need to be tackled, that torture is something that really does need to be addressed.
Today's event is a recognition that civil society is indeed a key stakeholder in this process, one that has the knowledge of real-life human experiences, possesses the expertise in rights issues, and has the energy and passion to contribute and shape the debate.
A series of workshops are expected to be held hereafter to ensure that all stakeholders are aware of the 1-hour procedure, particularly with the pilot program to be expanded to 5 other police stations. The Chief Justice Anthony Gates reiterating that the culture of violence is intolerable. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
Fiji Times publisher Hank Arts' appeal against a rejection of bail variation has been dismissed. Arts wanted to travel to New Zealand to attend his stepdaughter's wedding and seek medical examination this month. Appeals Court Judge Justice William Calancini has ruled that the charge is serious and carries a maximum penalty of 10-year imprisonment. Arts had filed an appeal on the bail variation ruling, which was earlier heard in the Suva High Court. He is charged with Editor-in-Chief Fred Wesley, Nailalakai Editor Anare Ravula, Chosai Wangambada and Fiji Times Limited with 1 count of inciting communal antagonism in relation to an article published in its Itaukei language newspaper Nailalakai in April last year. An 18-year-old man died while held in custody at the Nakasi police station in Nausori last night. Anna Ravulo joins us live now for all the details. Anna, what do we know about this incident?
Jackie, the deceased Vikrant Nand was taken in on Wednesday for allegedly breaching a domestic violence restraining order and assault. On the second night of his detainment, police officers found Nand lifeless in the cell. I spoke with Police Commissioner Brigadier General Sitiveni Gilio this afternoon, and he confirms an internal investigation is underway. Nand's mother, however, doesn't want a post-mortem. Jackie.
A post-mortem has to be done to determine the cause of death. Otherwise, the investigations will not be complete, and all we'll be doing is speculating on the cause of death. A post-mortem has to be done according to law because of the circumstances surrounding his death.
Still ahead, concerns over non-compliance of fisheries laws. And inmates use artwork to earn a living.
मेरा नाम कमल रोशनी है। हम लोगों में रहते हैं और मिर्ची एफएम सबसे बेस्ट स्टेशन है।
हमारा नाम मेसी है, हम गोल्ड टाउन तापुआ में रहता है और मिर्ची इज हॉट इन तापुआ।
Hi, we Bagels. We love Mirchi FM because it's hot.
निवेश तवरा में रहता है, सुनता है यहाँ मिर्ची एफएम is very hot.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
The Registrar of the University of Fiji, Kamlesh Arya, has pleaded not guilty to abuse of office and 1 count of general dishonesty causing a loss. Arya appeared in the Suva High Court this afternoon. The alleged offences took place between January and December 2014, while the accused was the acting school manager for Bawani Dial Memorial Primary School. It's alleged Arya authorised loans amounting to $116,000 from the free education grant provided by the Ministry of Education. The case is adjourned to the 29th of next month. National and foreign fishing vessels should comply with the fisheries legislation before entering and leaving Fiji ports. To make sure this happens, the Foreign Fisheries Agency and the University of the South Pacific are working in partnership to train and upskill fisheries compliance officers. Saniani Boiler reports.
USP and the FFA have both agreed to train fisheries officers to ensure every port of entry is closely monitored and controlled.
For my partnership, whereby the same program can be put through USP's stringent quality assurance structure and be approved by USP and delivered by FFA. So that's a modality we have got. So the program is owned by USP, but we utilize the staff from the expertise from FFA to deliver the courses throughout the region.
FFA's Vessel Monitoring System Manager Ramesh Chand says their week-long workshop will ensure that compliance officers of the Monitoring, Control and Surveillance Unit, or MCS, will check that all vessels are safe and will not harm the environment.
Ensure that the MCS compliance is adhered to by the fishing fleet, mainly to do with Fisheries fleet, whether it's national vessels or foreign vessels licensed to fish in.
Under the current partnership, Lal says monitoring and control will also be practiced in more specific island countries to ensure vessels are safe to travel in the Pacific Island waters. The week-long workshop ended today. Sainiani Mboila, FBC News.
Exposing hidden talent can open doors to different worlds and new income streams. 40-year-old Pauliasin Batiki is an inmate who has his artwork displayed at the Tangimothia Art Gallery in Corvo, Suva. Savaira Tambua has more.
These are some of the pieces of artwork by Pauliasin Batiki, who's serving life imprisonment. Pau, as his friends call him, was inspired by a Russian artist after reading about him and seeing his artwork in a magazine 3 years ago.
And from that very moment, I told myself that I need to learn drawing or creative art, because whenever an order comes for me to print Sulu, I just put my own design on that Sulu.
Inmates have to be chosen by corrections officers based on performance, behavior and cooperation before they are allowed to display their art.
These artworks, when they've been sold, it's distributed into certain percentage. For certain percentage go to the inmates and the percentage go to the physical correction cells.
The initiative provides an opportunity for inmates to develop skills and to gain a form of income while in custody that will be made available to them upon release.
I've been looking for some artwork for our galley restaurant, and I love that this place is so nearby as well, and I love the art pieces, so I was really interested in buying some pieces for the galley.
Orders for some of these paintings are already coming in. One from the embassy in China buying a $300 piece of artwork. Sabera Tambua, FBC News.
The Nandi Meteorological Office says there is still a possibility of some localized flooding in areas. However, the weatherman says there will not be much damage done, as the weather should not get worse than what is being experienced. There is also further good news for the public.
However, we might see that in some places still the occasional rain, which will be heavy at times, and we expect the weather to gradually improve as we go into the weekend, with rain replaced by showers, especially in the afternoon or evening.
There's lots happening in the world of business. Rachel is here with the details.
Good evening. Coming up in business tonight, brand new vodka enters the market. And later on in Growing Fiji, new street lights for rural communities.
And later on in sports, are Fiji Sevens forwards living up to expectations?
Well, may rasa lutoka duba talita kana warong na radio Fisheries.
Bulan arango fina may korbiri nandi auto talita kana warong na radio Fisheries na programa ni mas masu na mataklaylay.
Kaya wachoni kurinambila may bunagoro na makete hinga toka kwe do talita kina na warong na radio Fisheries kina na domoy viti.
Na radio Fisheries na domoy viti na vonga ni BNN.
In business tonight, a boost to our export market as Paradise Beverages will be taking one of its flavored drinks to the Samoan market. Katia vodka was launched last night, and the head of marketing, Rowena Taito, says the Fijian-made products are in high demand and they're taking the first shipment to Samoa. The company has spent more than $50,000 to produce, create and launch the product.
Our first order is already going to go on the water next month, so we're going to launch in Samoa in April. which is, so we own Valima Brewery as well, so that'll be our first export, and then we hope to take it to the rest of the world as well in our current export markets.
Company chief executives are being urged to play a leading role for the upcoming Fiji Human Resources Institute Awards. Institute President Kamieli Batiwati said while speaking at the annual FHRI-BSP CEO's cocktail. He says chief executives will play an important role in nominating HR personnel for the event. Batiwati says HR staff of each company work hard all year round, and it is only right to be recognized for their efforts. US President Donald Trump's tax policies is confusing investors and causing uncertainty in the market. Elizabeth from HFC Bank brings us the details.
Yes. Even though the U.S. economic data this morning continued to show robust growth, stocks on Wall Street fell from record highs and the U.S. dollar weakened as well. This is because investors are unsure what President Donald Trump has in line in regards to the tax policies that are still yet to be delivered. And secondly, energy stocks were weighed down by falling oil prices. Meanwhile, New Zealand released their retail sales figure for the fourth quarter this morning. It fell to 0.8% from an expected increase to 1.1%. This caused the New Zealand dollar to weaken further against the Fijian dollar by 0.27%. And this is a wrap from the markets for this week. We'll see you on Monday, Rachel.
Thanks for the update, Elizabeth. I'm actually looking forward to seeing how Donald Trump's policies will impact the market. On to today's exchange rates. A slight dip in the Chinese yuan today as it closed at $3.26, while the American dollar rose by 2 points to close at 47 cents. On to our regional currencies. The Australian and New Zealand dollar rose to close at 61 cents and 65 cents respectively, while the PNG kina continues to rise to close at $1.32. An increase across the commodities market as oil finally rose after 2 days to close at $53.43 a barrel. Gold went up by $16.15 an ounce to close at $1,240, and silver followed a similar suit to close at $18.06 an ounce. In growing Fiji tonight, a lot is happening in the west with 105 street lights commissioned by Prime Minister Varange Bainimarama in Singatoka. Kelly Vadala reports more than 4,000 people of Dhuvu Back Road can now feel safer while out on the streets at night.
The people of Dhuvu, Navuaevu, Sila, Tore, Rukurukulevu, Mbua, Newtown, Naindovi and Bangladesh will benefit from this initiative.
But to give our people the freedom to go about their lives late in the evening without having to worry about the dangers of walking about in the dark.
The street lights also serve as an economic boost for Dhuvu because people can sell produce into the night and not worry about security.
A well-lit light, ladies and gentlemen, at night can mean the difference between life and death. The difference between a driver being able to see and avoid a passerby or the tragic loss of a loved one.
This project cost the government $582,000. This is only one section of the government's Western Division street lighting program. Throughout the year, there are plans to bring light to other communities. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
And that's it from Business Tonight. Sports is up next, and here's Jamie with the latest.
Thanks, Rachel, and good evening. Up ahead in sports, Fiji Sevens forwards working overtime to strengthen weak areas. And Nandi Aviators ready to take on PNG's best tomorrow. This and more coming up.
Whenever I want to tune in to listen to great music, I always tune in to my favorite radio station, Gold FM, only the classic.
My name is Lita. We love listening to Gold FM here at the Fiji Hideaway Resort and Spa. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
We here at Tano Waterfront Lautoka love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
lot is expected of the Vodafone Fiji Sevens forwards going into the third leg of the Sevens World Series, and coaches are working overtime to create the best combinations before the Las Vegas Sevens. Vasnil Prasad has more.
It was a tough week for the Fiji Sevens forwards working on weak areas.
When we have a look at the forwards department, in terms of set piece, lineouts, the boys have been doing quite well with the new players we have in the system.
A few areas have been exposed with new forwards Mesulame Kunavula, Nemani Nangusa, Setereki Bituniata, Kalione Nasoko and Sevuloni Modenadhangi coming into the team.
Looking at our scrums as well, we lost some crucial balls in scrum, and we've been pressured, allowed to be pressured by the opposition scrum. That has affected how we defended or how we attacked in the last two tournaments.
For coach Gareth Beiba, decision making on the field under pressure is also a concern.
That is an issue, obviously, in terms of, I suppose, having emotional control in pressure situations.
Beiba is expected to name his final 14 for Las Vegas and Vancouver next week. Vashnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
There'll be a few overseas clubs competing at the Fiji Better Maris Sevens next month at the ANZ Stadium. Maris Rugby Club President Lawrence Thikaram says for now they have teams from New Zealand confirmed. He also anticipates all top local clubs to be part of the two-day event, which will be played on the 24th and 25th of March.
We have teams from the West coming in. We have teams, the Taviuni First Light teams coming in as well. We have a few teams from New Zealand, club teams. We have a team that's currently touring Australia at the moment, a local Fijian team, Eagles. We have a Fijian community team out of Auckland also coming as well. Not to say the least that we have all the grassroots teams.
The Fiji Under-17 football side secured its first win in the OFC Championships, beating Samoa 3-0 last night. But despite bagging the 3 points on offer, coach Selen Lal wasn't completely satisfied with his team's performance. Vasnil Prasad reports.
It was a crucial game against Samoa in the OFC Championships last night. All looked well, Fiji slotting in its first goal in the 9th minute through Semi Matalau. 8 minutes later, Ratundau got the second and Fiji went into break with a 2-0 lead. Goalkeeper Mohammad Alam was at his best, making some wonderful saves. In the second half, Ratundau backed Fiji's third goal, a result Coach Selen Lal wasn't expecting.
We came in to score a lot of goals, but then again things didn't go our way. We know that this was a game whereby we could have just got more goals, but then the boys, they tried their best.
Lal added that his injury list is something to worry about for the next match against New Zealand.
I know Samoa was also good, and they were too physical. We lost so many players through injuries.
Despite the loss, the Samoan coach was happy with the outcome.
Even we lost 3-0, but I'm still happy with my boys' performance.
Fiji plays in New Zealand on Sunday at 5 p.m. Vashnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
In other results, New Zealand found the going tough against a classy Solomon Islands outfit. While it only took 3 minutes for Jake Williams to net New Zealand's first goal, the rest of the match was a tug of war. New Zealand maintained the 1-0 lead at the break before Junior Kaioni equalised for the Solomon Islanders in the 47th minute. The New Zealanders then had to hold on till the 84th minute before Charles Spragg gave them the winning goal.
Potentially us scoring as early as we did was the worst thing that could have happened to us. It was almost like our boys thought it was going to be a repeat of Samoa.
Really happy with the boys' performance against New Zealand. Obviously, as you can hear, I lost my voice because I was shouting, screaming and giving instructions to the boys, but I believe they gave them a good game today.
Given previous encounters from the country's top clubs, Fiji's Nandi Aviators should expect an uphill battle when they take on PNG's Snacks Tigers in their champion versus champion clash tomorrow. While the Aviators have taken on the underdog tag, they are confident that their preparations will enable them to put up a good fight. Meli Tavanga has more.
Coach Vela Tawake says 4 Fiji residents in the squad will strengthen the Aviators.
A squad of the residents, there's 3 coming up from Suva, because they are quite into standard. So we've done the off-season and work going well.
Meanwhile, Captain Aquilo Tony says they are thinking hard about what it will take to win.
We've been preparing from last year, especially during the festive season, and our training was not affected by the adverse weather, and we're expecting a hard yard game.
Fiji National Rugby League Chief Executive Timothy Nolemba says they've got the Aviators ready for the battle against the Tigers.
We have 90 Aviators who are the champions for the zone competition last year. Now, having the same strength that can compete well with PNG. club champion.
The Aviators have tagged the clash as David and Goliath. They'll have their minds and bodies prepared for a win. But the visitors from PNG have proven a tough battle in the past. Don't miss it, it'll be a good one. Melitawanga, FBC Sports.
Newly appointed Vodafone Fiji football coach Christophe Gamel has been laying down the law since taking up the post. The Frenchman has a vision for Fiji football and is willing to cut loose any player who lacks respect for the national jumper. Here's a snippet of an exclusive interview on FBC's Vodafone Sports Lounge, which airs straight after this news bulletin.
You have to give back to your country, and we are lucky with football and sport and rugby, fantastic team. You have to give back. You don't want, we don't force you, but you will not take pleasure on the field with your district.
Yeah.
This, they will find me on their own street, on own way, and I will bite them on the neck until they go down.
Catch more of that interview straight after news. That's it from sports. Angie will have your weather update later on, and our new media segment looks at security concerns over US President Donald Trump's use of his mobile phone. Find out more after the break.
I'm Nico Mbalroka here in Jackson, Fiji. I'm from Monedake, Fulanga in Low. I love listening to Mbula FM, especially when I'm stressed and tired at the end of the day. I love Mbula FM. Talk about in Mbula FM. Set sana.
Nadango Leonard Tulib, au what you to go and talita na parong ng Mbula FM, balitin na bantu na sir.
Mbula FM, number 2 na sir.
Security experts are wondering what methods President Trump is using to secure his Android smartphone. This is interesting for those who are phone addicts. And with all the weather outlook for the weekend, Angie is here.
Hello, Friday, and cheers to the weekend. Well, you are in luck if you made the most of today's conditions. My shades came to some use earlier today because the sun made a clear show and it brought humidity along as well. But it wasn't for long until rain decided to enter the picture and take over. It will continue tonight, becoming heavier. In the west, there was a fair bit of rain and a heavy rain warning remains in effect, but so far, no major problems. Nandi and Lautoka were warm at 31, with Ba being the coolest at 29. Eastwards from Peck Harbour to Suva, the sun beamed for a while, a lovely few hours for swimming, but rain is a new weather pattern for tonight. Up north, Lambasa had a mix of sun and clouds with few showers at 30 degrees, while Sabu Sabu was at 31. Tomorrow, it will be mostly breezy and fairly cloudy in the daytime, but as the evening arrives, our usual visitor for the past 2 weeks, rain knocks. That means you can still go out in the morning and do your daily jogs. Tomorrow's temps, Suva, Nandi, Lautoka and Ba are looking a bit warm with highs of 30 and lows of 23 and 24. Looking further on, it looks like it will be an indoor Sunday as more showers are expected by midday. At sea, northwest winds 20 to 25 knots rather, winds easing from later today with rough seas. And if you're wondering about the tides, the next high tide tonight is at 11:38 with a low tide tomorrow morning at 5:41 a.m. And Jackie, this time around, I guess the rain is really in your favor.
I'm actually hoping for a little sunshine now. Thanks so much for that, Angie. On Fiji Pulse today, we asked the people, how should we commemorate Tropical Cyclone Winston's anniversary?
I think a public holiday should be put in place to commemorate the lives that were lost during Tropical Cyclone Winston.
I think we should have a public holiday on the 20th of this month because Tropical Cyclone Winston was very destructive.
In the world of the weird and the wonderful, former Trump advisor Michael Flynn, fired after 3 weeks, set a record, but he's not alone when it comes to short political tenures. This from CNN.
America has enemies in our homeland and abroad.
24. That's how many days Michael Flynn lasted as National Security Advisor. It's a record, and not in a good way.
It is indeed an honor.
25 people have held the post since it was created by President Eisenhower. There was Henry Kissinger, who was in the role for more than 6 years. But the average tenure is about 2.6 years. President Trump's cabinet members have a long way to go to last as long as their predecessors. This chart here shows the average tenure of cabinet members broken down by recent presidents. Early resignations by an advisor are certainly not unprecedented. Van Jones, who was Obama's special advisor on green jobs, resigned after just 179 days amid controversy. So what about Congress? Representative Trey Riddell holds the modern record. He resigned in 2014 after serving just 389 days. But Flynn looks like a veteran compared to Effingham Lawrence. He was a Democrat, and he was only in office for 1 day. And that was in 1875.
Recapping the main stories, an 18-year-old died while in custody at the Nakasi police station last night. Kindergarten student taken by stranger turns up 5 hours later, and Lautoka man appears in court for allegedly killing a 74-year-old 3 years ago. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To the poll question this week, we are asking, has Gareth Baber impressed in his first 2 outings as Fiji Sevens coach? Visit our FBC website to answer. And before we go, our shot of the day comes from the mountains of Monasavu. This is in the early hours of the morning, showing us what the cold mornings look like up in the highlands of Fiji. Send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. Or you can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. Until next time, from the team and I, have a safe and enjoyable weekend. Bye for now.
I'm Anare Sorbakro of Nayabu Wenebuga Telebu. Whenever I want to tune in to listen to great music, I always tune in to my favorite radio station, Gold FM, only the classic.
My name is Lita. We love listening to Gold FM here at the Fiji Heidegger Resort and Spa. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
We here at Tano Waterfront Lautoka love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.